Morning, guys. So, yeah, 5 o'clock in the morning here. I've just sort of got up and starting to get organised. Cold winter's morning here in Wanaka, so been following the weather patterns a bit over the last couple of days, and there's a pretty good chance that this morning there might be a little bit of fog and some heavy frosts up around around a lot of areas, but in particular up around the Twizel region, up in the Mackenzie region. So I'm going to jump in the car and head off nice and early, head up there and fingers crossed, hopefully be able to get some good images of some fog and ice and frost and all those sorts of things. So we'll give it a hit. It's probably about an hour and 45 minutes drive from here, but we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, should be able to get some shots of something, get up there in time for sunrise, and just hopefully, even if we don't get a lot of heavy frost and ice, probably at least get some nice fog. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, we'll jump in the car, we'll make a big, strong coffee and take that with me and see how we go. So come along for the ride, stay tuned, and hopefully we can get some good photos for you. Let's go. Let's do it. Hi guys, well I have actually arrived here this morning in Twizel. I'm at the Twizel Ponds, which are not far from town, only a few kilometres out of town. Driving through, it's about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes drive from where I live to here. Drove through the Lindis Valley, which was really cold. Driving through the Lindis Valley, we sort of got down to about -9 Celsius, so it was quite cold through there. As we've sort of got out here, got out here to Twizel, it's cold here this morning, but it's sort of around -4, -5 Celsius. Maybe I'm just getting accustomed to this sort of weather, but it doesn't feel that bad to me. Obviously got some warm clothes on, but it's okay. I have already taken a few shots. It's sort of not quite sunrise yet. It's probably still about 20 minutes away from sunrise. You can probably see the scene behind me. There's a bit of fog just starting to come into that scene now. It was actually clear a minute ago, and I actually did already take a couple of images there that actually look quite nice. Just using the 24-70 lens there at the moment, and really just zoomed in on a few of these trees across the other side of the pond behind me. Just really using a circular polarizer just to take a little bit of the glare off the water, but not much, only just a little bit, just so the water's just a little bit darker than the background, just to give you that contrast. It's actually getting foggier now than what it was when I first arrived, which is quite common as the sun starts to rise. Often at this time of year here, the fog sort of comes in more as the sun's rising. I'll probably just these sort of ponds here, there's 2 or 3 different ones. I don't mind this spot where I am, just back down this way a little bit. There's some ice on the water. There might be a shot there. So the trees have definitely got hoarfrost on them. It's not a really huge amount. I have seen more in the past, even last winter, but conditions are pretty good. It's very calm, there's no wind, which is great for reflections, and obviously good that will also make the fog stay around as well. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, to be honest. I think I should be able to get some good images this morning, so we'll certainly give it a crack. Those first couple shots I took there look pretty nice on the back of the camera already, so fingers crossed that we can get a few decent frames. Alright, I'll sign off now and we'll get down to business here and hopefully get a few good shots. Okay guys, I found this tree here. It's got some really nice frost on it. Really like the look of it. I've sort of walked a full circle all the way around the tree, just trying to see which angle sort of has the best light. And I kind of like this composition I've got here. I'm shooting it with a wide angle lens with a 16 to 35, and I've gone really wide. Try and get some of this sort of frozen grass in the foreground. I'll just show you my composition there. Some of this frozen grass in the foreground. I'm going to have to focus stack this to get it nice and sharp. I really want this this grass in the bottom third or even the bottom half really of the image to be nice and sharp, and then I want the tree to be sharp. The rest of it doesn't really matter. That background sky there, doesn't matter what happens to that. That'll just be white anyway. Just playing with the polarizer there. There is a little bit of sort of vignetting in those corners, which is caused by the polarizer, but this will be fine. So we'll take 3 frames. You can see where my focus point is there. We'll focus one there, one a little bit further, and then one on the tree. So we'll get 3 frames there, and then we'll try and stack those 3 frames together in Photoshop. And I'm shooting it at f8. I'm actually using aperture priority here. The reason I do that is so that the exposures on all 3 frames are exactly the same, because basically when your camera meters the exposure, it's metering where that little focus box is, and if we're on manual mode, for example, every time we'd move that little box, the exposure would change, and for example, the tree might be way more exposed than the foreground, if that makes sense. So I use AV, aperture priority. So I'll take 3 frames here, one there. I've got my highlight alert on this camera. Also, I can bring the histogram up. I'm certainly not clipping the highlights, which is the main thing you got to worry about. It's fine. I'll take another shot there. You can see where I'm focused there. So I always take, when I'm focus stacking, I always take the first 2 shots quite close to the camera to get the foreground nice and sharp. Okay, that's got our foreground. Then I'll probably just take a 3rd shot on the tree, right in the middle. Okay, and we can blend those together. I'll then take a photo of 3 fingers in front of the camera, just like so. Basically the reason I'm going to do that is when I get to Photoshop and processing the images, if I've got a few hundred images to roll through and I might not get around to processing those images for another few weeks or months or whatever it may be, I'm not going to remember what I did on the day. So when I see that photo of my 3 fingers, I know that that means 3 images before that need to be blended together. Okay guys, I've just come down to the edge of the pond here. I'm hoping to get these frozen grasses in the foreground here with those trees, those sort of 3 trees out the back there. I really like this shot. Just sort of working out exactly how I'm going to frame it up, but probably something like this, I would suspect. May even crop this into a square image, I'm not sure yet, but I certainly like it. I like the darkness in the water. It's sort of giving us a real good contrast, if you like. So I'm just going to play around with the polarizer a bit here, and I'll probably shoot this. This will be a focus stack image for sure. probably get away with 2 images, although I may do 3. So I'll just explain what I'm doing here. I'm going to shoot a landscape image and a portrait or a vertical image as well. So I'll just show you the back of my screen and sort of get in a bit closer and try and show you exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, so that's my landscape image. I'm just going to turn my camera back onto manual. I actually had it on AV. Oh, actually I might leave it on AV. I'm going to spin my polarizer around a bit here and just see the difference it makes to the water in the foreground. Need to go to manual for that. See that water? If you watch that water when I spin the polarizer, you'll certainly see the difference that makes. I'm actually not sure whether I like the darker water or whether I prefer it a bit brighter. Probably in the middle, about there I reckon. So I'm going to focus stack this. So I'll take an image where I'm focused on that grass in the foreground there. And go back to, I'm going to go shoot this on aperture priority. That's bulb, sorry, aperture there. So I'll focus stack this. I'll take 3 frames. I'll take 1 for the grass in the foreground, probably 1 on the water, and then 1 on the trees at the back. I'm actually thinking about using a 6-stop filter for this too, just to smooth the water out a bit, but I don't know if I'll need it. But anyway, let's go. 3 shots. So there's 1 focused on the grass in the foreground. 1. Take another one on the water, or maybe just on the reflection of the trees. 2. And then a 3rd frame on the trees up the back. 3. Okay, that's a nice image. Let's take a photo of my 3 fingers again. Just going to experiment with different heights here too. I've got my tripod as high as it'll go, so I actually wouldn't mind getting up higher, but can only really do those handheld, which may be okay. While I've got the tripod here, I'm going to try a vertical composition here too. I'm a huge fan of vertical compositions. Bit more negative space with a vertical comp. Actually think I like that better, to be honest. Looks pretty nice, hey? Bit of contrast there in the water. Sort of make that somewhere around there, I reckon. Those trees at the back are sort of right in the middle of the frame. Wow, there's some good shots to be had here this morning. The light's really lovely. I think about there. So again, we'll do a focus stack, 1 on the foreground. There is some cars going past in the background. I'm actually not far from the main road here. There goes a car now. So you just got to be careful you don't get a car in your shot. You might move forward a foot or 2. Quite liking this vertical composition here too, actually. I just moved forward about a foot just to get a little bit of grass out of my foreground. That was just a little bit annoying. Just simplified the composition just that little bit more. the old KISS theory is always a good way to go. Just keep your compositions really simple. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I quite like that theory in terms of keeping your compositions very simplistic. Already thinking about editing this image as I do, and I'm already thinking that the water's coming up like a dark green jade colour in the images. I don't know whether that colour, that dark green, will work on the image. I'd actually rather take the colour out of the water and just have the water almost black. Just so the only colour you're really getting is the contrast and a little bit of sort of yellow in the grass, and that's it, nothing else. I'm really digging this composition. Again, it's a focus stack because we've got this grass in the foreground really close to the camera, actually, probably only about 2 foot in front of the camera. But yeah, I just like it. It's really nice. I want to try and get that tree at the back right in the middle, which is going to be there. And again, we'll focus stack this one. Take a shot in the foreground here. Second shot, actually that little piece of grass there is annoying. Let's take that out. It's better. There's a car over there. Don't get in my shot, you buggers. Don't park there, whatever you do. One shot there. Take another one out there on the water. Another one on the trees. I'm going to try a couple of different exposures here. Actually, I'm going to go just change the exposure to going underexposed by a little bit. Probably almost a stop under. Let's give a bit more contrast. Oh, hang on, I need to take a photo. Start again now. Different exposures. Yeah, it's probably still a bit over. Okay, I'm going to try this same composition in a landscape as well. I'm actually going to try a few different versions of it. I'll try a manual setting as well. I really like this composition, so I want to make sure I get it right. I don't want to bugger it up. Loving the contrast, just love the contrast of those trees at the back, the white on the black. hopefully we'll get something good out of this. Quietly confident. Let's try this as a landscape image. Oh, it's lovely too, really nice. Look at that. There's a couple little blades of grass there, a little bit annoying. I might just go forward a little bit. Yeah, this is a really nice composition, this one. Really like to fine tune my compositions too. Just get all the little finer points of the composition spot on. Make sure it's level, horizon's level, polarizers in the position you sort of want it in. I'm going to try the polarizer there actually. There's a car in the background here, so hopefully he doesn't hang around in our shot. Get out of my shot, mate. Juicy van. Get out of my photo. Come on, mate. Hurry up. So this morning's conditions just keep on giving. It's I've been here at least a couple of hours shooting now, and it's not giving up. The light just keeps changing, compositions just keep showing up everywhere I go. I haven't actually moved around that much, to be honest, but I have just recently repositioned, and loving these trees behind me here. There's some lines or layers of fog on the mountains straight behind these trees. There's some light breaking through over in this direction. It's changing every 5 minutes, but I've learnt from past experiences where you've gone out and had, you know, just epic photography conditions, and you've got, you know, 6 or 8 shots that you think are amazing, and you give up and go and get coffee and breakfast, and you do get good images. But really, for me, I think I have learnt that when you get epic conditions like that I've definitely got this morning, it's just fantastic. There's just compositions everywhere. The light is just beautiful, nice contrasts. So I've certainly learnt to just keep shooting. Digital photography's cheap. You can never take enough photos. Just keep shooting, just keep finding more compositions. You know, the cafe down the road's open. I can go and get coffee and breakfast later. But you don't get conditions that are this good that often. Normally probably only a couple of times a year you're going to get these sort of conditions. So I'm just going to keep shooting. A few more shots on these trees. There's another pond just over here that I'm going to have a little bit of a look at. And then there's another lake just down the road a couple of kilometres, which is a very blue, turquoise, tealy blue glacial lake. And that should have some frozen trees and some fog around it as well. So I'm going to head there next. This is going to probably end up being a pretty long video, but that's okay, because I think you'll enjoy it. There's lots to see, and hopefully there'll be some good images with it as well. So let's keep shooting and just really enjoying these beautiful winter conditions here at Twizel. Just talk you through my composition here. You can see what I'm shooting straight down the middle there. I've sort of got these two trees, dark contrast tree here and one here, and they sort of lead down, and in the distance behind them is some more trees that are sort of a lot whiter, if you like. And I guess the idea behind this composition is to probably keep these dark areas quite dark and contrasty, and have some nice light right down the end there, in the middle where those white trees are in the distance, and sort of try and lead in from each edge into the middle. These two darker trees, this one here and this one here, I've got one on each third line of the frame, and then, you know, it's pretty much dark contrast on 1/3 to the right and dark contrast on 1/3 to the left, and then some brightness right down in the distance there. So we'll give that a shot and just see how it looks. Let's try a few different focal lengths too, and just work with balancing some of these other trees as well. May even work like that. So we'll give that a shot and see how it goes. I'm probably going to focus stack this just to try and get it all pretty sharp. Although, I don't know, maybe I don't need to. Probably get away with like f11 because it is zoomed in. It's sort of zoomed in at about 50 millimeters. I'm using the 24-70 lens, so I think if I probably focus on that tree there, I think I'll probably get away with f11. I'm not a big focus stacker. I tend to really try and get away with single frame shots wherever possible, and normally when you're zoomed in like this, you're pretty safe getting away with a single frame image. There is a road in the background. I don't know whether you can actually see the occasional car going past right in the distance there. There's a truck going past there now. So it's got to wait for the coast to be clear before you take a shot. Let's shoot that. Yep, that's lovely. Really nice. I could just keep on shooting here for hours. Like everywhere I go, I'm just finding more and more compositions. Just found this this vertical composition here. I've got these frosty grasses in the foreground, sort of curving around to the big tree in the background. There is sort of in the center of the frame, and then that's reflecting in the water. Really nice composition. Think it'll come up nice. I'm shooting it, getting up quite high and shooting it with a wide angle lens, and just sort of, you can probably see here that I've sort of got the camera sort of tilted forward with a wide angle lens, and I've done that on purpose for two reasons. One reason is, as I get a wide angle lens, and it's at wide angle, it's at sort of 16 or 17 millimeters. As I tilt it forward, the distortion in the wide angle lens is kind of stretching that tree in the background and making it look a bit bigger, and also it's letting me get all this foreground grass in the shot as well, which I really like because I'm shooting so wide, and by tilting forward, I'm really just picking up all this nice frosty grass in the foreground too. Please tell me in the comments which image or images you like the best. I'd really appreciate your feedback. Okay guys, well that's a wrap on today's video. I sort of didn't really take a lot more footage after the shoot I had at the last pond there. I really just got immersed in the photography and didn't really take too much more video. But you're certainly going to see these images from today's shooting. It was a fantastic day out. Just amazing conditions around this area today. The hoar frost on everything. Definitely up there with you know, one of the best days photography I've ever had. It was just fantastic. So you'll see some of those images now. So yeah, thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for those guys that have been following along on my YouTube channel. In the future, if you'd actually like to come and shoot some of these amazing winter conditions here in New Zealand, then why not join on one of my New Zealand winter photography tours. You can head over to my website and check those out. New Zealand really is my specialty. I know this place extremely well, and my New Zealand photo tours are my core business. I guess I'm the New Zealand photography tour expert. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following along on the YouTube channel, and stay tuned for some more videos coming along in the future. If you like the videos, then yeah, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, or you know, definitely give me a thumbs up. It certainly helps me along with the YouTube thing. It's a bit of fun for me more than anything, and I'm really enjoying making these videos. And particularly today, I had an absolute blast out shooting today. It was just a really memorable day, shooting. Although it was a little bit cool. Dress accordingly, and it's just fun, and you'll see these images. So thanks for tuning in guys, and let's see you next time on the next video. Take care. If you'd like to buy a print of one of my photos, please contact me via my website.